want to get into software engineering, you know that, okay, there are 3 to 4 steps which you have to follow. I used to get good marks in mathematics, physics, and, computer science. So parents were like, okay, let's go with engineering.
Of course, TensorFlow, that basically helps you to develop the machine learning models, and which is very crucial for data science,
So we techies are, I guess it was 47%. We are most of the time, 47% of time, we are learning new things. So that's how our profession is.
Being a lead data scientist or any of your senior people need to have skill on project management as well, right? You need to ensure effective delivery, deliverables on time. You need to ensure, prioritize the tasks that are being assigned to on a daily basis.
VLC, the software, we have the web browser, Firefox. Many of these are open source, right? So go ahead, the code is open source on GitHub. So you can find the issue, you can make your own contribution, and you can say that, okay, that button on that website is developed by me. When calculators were invented, right? So there was so much of noise that the jobs which, involves calculation, which involves analytics, all those stuff, they will be completely replaced, like that of in bank especially. There are so many jobs which involve computation, all those stuff.
If I talk about the message that I would like to give to an aspiring data scientist, I do actually have a lot of questions for going on my head.
Good code is like a good joke. It needs no explanation. Hi everyone, welcome to Scala's YouTube channel. I'm Soumya, a software engineer and an educator.
And I'm Roshni Tayal, an educator and a lead data scientist at Yum Brands, which franchises companies like KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut.
Amazing. So before we get into the podcast, make sure you check out our free masterclasses by industry-leading experts on Scala's event page. Link is in the description. So Roshni, how you got excited about the data science domain? How has your journey been?
Definitely, that's a nice question. So starting with my journey started with while I was pursuing my bachelor's in Chhattisgarh itself. So I got an exposure through the internship opportunity that I got into IIT. So that was more about the summer school at AI in the field of AI, and I got exposure networking with a lot of great people in this field already.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually diverted my intention into this field. And then I did more internship at another IIT, and some of the projects in my last year of BTech, which helped me get an exposure into this field and how we apply data science and how we see the real examples of it. So that built my portfolio, and I got an exposure into starting with a startup into this field. And yes, right now I have been into this industry as a data scientist with more than 4 years of experience. Yep.
Amazing. So like you did your BTech, your graduation in this domain itself, or was it like BTech in CSIT?
No, I did my BTech in computer science and engineering. So that was about me, Soumya. Now, how has your journey been into software engineering till now, and how did you decided to pursue your career in software engineering?
Okay. So yes, I got to know about tech and specifically, programming languages, all these things when I was in high school. So after 10th and the 11th grade, there was an option, to choose, which subject you want, PCM and all those stuff. So I picked up computer science out of nowhere. I was not very much interested in computer science from the beginning, but yes, my friends, specifically like my best friend, was picking up computer science. So I was like, okay, let's go with this. And there I got to know about C++. We had that book, Computer Science, or C++ with Sumita Arora.
Or it might be object-oriented programming with C++.
Yeah, right, something like that. I remember the author name. It is Sumita Arora. Okay. So it was a good book. Actually, all the fundamental were clear in the 11th and 12th grade itself. What is OOP, object-oriented programming, those polymorphism, inheritance, all those theoretical stuff. But obviously, I didn't know how to, use that theory knowledge in the real world. But that sounded interesting to me, all those stuff, computer science, fundamental, those languages, everything.
Definitely.
So yes, after that, because I used to get good marks in mathematics, physics, and, computer science. So parents were like, okay, let's go with engineering. And yes, I like completed my BTech from NSUT West campus.
Okay.
And yes, during the university days, I would say those were the best days when I did a lot of coding. I explored a lot many domains. So I started with what university asked us to do, like C programming language was there. Then we had Java as well. So those theoretical stuff were there. Apart from that, I did a lot many exploration around, how can I go about participating in hackathons, open source, how can I do remote internships, all those stuff. So yes, what I did, I was a bit confused that which programming language should I choose or which domain. Like there are so many things. Like you are into data science,
Right.
machine learning is there, AI is there,
Right.
app development, web development. It's a bit overwhelming, so many things are there.
True.
So I decided to kind of give one week to each of these domain to see, which language is used in that particular domain.
Okay.
So like, okay, and that is web, HTML, CSS, these are used. And I did thorough research of what is the future of this. And see, like with machine learning, AI, all these stuff, I did my research. And yes, after a month, after spending one week researching all these technologies, I thought like, okay, developing mobile application is something which is quite interesting. We use those apps in our mobile phones, Zomato, Gmail, Amazon, so many things are there. So from the beginning, I was very interested. I was very excited about how these softwares are created. I had a decent knowledge of Java and data structure algorithms, like how arrays work, stacks, queues, everything. And but after the theory knowledge, I didn't know how to create application. When we click a button, then how so many things are happening. That curiosity was there as a kid, you can say.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's learn this, how to develop mobile application. So yeah, it was pretty good. I first focused on like what is the exact roadmap. So that time Java was in the trend for learning how to develop mobile applications. So I learned Java thoroughly. And after that, because we have placements, internships, everything, so I did DSA as well thoroughly, all the questions, everything. Like I studied data structure, all those stuff. And because we had to anyhow add projects in our resume, right? For that, I picked mobile application development. I learned it, and I would say that is one skill which helped me, like, obviously learn a lot as well as earn a lot. I did pretty much good amount of freelancing projects using that skill.
Okay.
And if you get good clients from, outside India, like USA, etc., you can literally make a lot of money. Website, application, these are such domains where you are never out of fashion. In the digital era, all the companies, startups, they want their own website, they want their own application. So I feel, yes, the domain that I picked is the right one. And I was excited about this, right? Yeah. Many of my friends that time were picking machine learning, AI, all those stuff. They were like, Soumya, why are you picking like Java, app dev? It's old. So I'm like, no, it's fine. Those are boring technologies, but this is kind of evergreen. So yes, every domain has its own pros and cons. I would say if you are interested into something, you will indeed make something out of it. So yes, that's pretty much about me. That plenty of internships, hackathons, and yes, many like such things happen which I didn't expected. Like internationally, globally, I was honored as one of the International Women Open Source Academic Award finalist as well.
That's
like
great.
I was applying for that. I was contributing AnitaB.org, an organization, and they shared that okay, you people are doing open source contributions so much. Why don't you apply for this honor, this scholarship? So I was like, why should I apply? Anyhow, I will not get selected. I was feeling like that.
Yeah.
But anyhow, I applied, and it was literally a bit of surprise for me. Like globally getting an honor like that was a huge thing. So many times it happened, we feel that we are somewhere, not capable enough of achieving that thing, but you actually are. Because by that point, I already had mentored students in Google Code, in which is an open source initiative again as part of GSOC and many open source programs. So yes, we shouldn't underestimate ourselves. This is one learning which I would like to share with you all from my short journey. So, Roshni, what are the programming languages, technologies, and tools that you use on daily basis as a data scientist?
Definitely. So thank you for the question, Soumya. I have a diverse set of technologies and tech preferences that I have worked with. Let me start with the toolbox that with all the technologies that I have worked with. Starting with the programming language, I have worked with Python. So Python is a very go-to programming language that is preferred in the field of data science. Um, in terms of data manipulation and data pre-processing, I have used libraries. I regularly use libraries like Pandas, scikit-learn, and SciPy, NumPy for scientific computing and for pre-processing the data that is there. For data visualization, I have used tools like I've used libraries like Matplotlib, Plotly, and Seaborn because they help you to visualize the data better. Again, on the machine learning framework side, I have used technologies like scikit-learn, PyTorch, and of course TensorFlow. So that basically helps you to develop the machine learning models, and which is very crucial for data science. Then when I come to the version controlling, so I have used Git more often because that helps you with the sharing of codes and tracking the changes that team is making collaboratively. When I say collaboratively, I remember I have also used Jupyter notebooks for sharing the code and sharing some the data analysis thing and sharing the code with team, because that is very interactive IDE, I should say, that helps you with a lot of understanding. Then, if we talk about the channels that I've used for communicating with the team, the Microsoft Teams and Slack are the more often ones that I have used and that are always there on my phone. So and yes, I do have diverse set of technology that are preferred for me, but I do keep it always open because this is a field that I am in continuous learning, and the diverse and inheriting the diverse set of skill set which is rapidly evolving is very necessary for a data scientist. So yeah, I do keep it open. I think I talked too much already. So would you like to share your go-to technologies and programming languages that you have worked with?
So, Roshni, yes, the most of the tools that you talked about, like for the communication, all those stuff, Slack, GChat, all those things, and for code sharing, for team collaboration, we all techies obviously must know Git,
Definitely, yeah.
GitHub, GitLab, all
Yes,
those stuff.
yes.
So yes, those are almost common in the tech domain. So I won't go about all of those, but yes, my favorite language, my favorite go-to technology include Java, Kotlin, AppDev.
Okay.
These are my favorite. Well, a funny thing is, like in the current organization as well, when I joined here as a software engineering intern, so I was working on web stuff. So HTML, CSS, React, all those stuff, all those tasks were given a lot to me. Apart from that, I have worked on Golang as well, C++, C, like a lot many languages, but I don't know why and how, but Java holds a special place in my heart. So that's my go-to technology. And yes, one thing that I would like to share with our audience is like our domain is something, software engineering is a place where you can't confine yourself to one programming language or one technology or framework. Because I know that, okay, Java is my favorite language, but I mean, in the current organization itself, or maybe if I switch team, if I switch project or organization, I might be asked to work on C++ or any other programming
Definitely.
language.
Yeah.
So, as you said, in the end, it's important for us to keep ourselves up to date and don't confine yourself to just one language. That, okay, if you did DSA in C++, then you must, stay to that only. No, that's not true. Keep learning new things. And I would like to share a stat as well. I was reading a newsletter last week, and in the research done by some of the researchers of USA, our profession, software engineering, is a profession where the learning curve is the highest.
Yeah.
There were percentages as well. Like other professions, in other profession, people have like 35% of the times they are learning new things.
Yeah.
But we techies are, I guess it was 47%. We are most of the time, 47% of time, we are learning new things. So that's how our profession is. So it's
Yeah.
important for us that we keep
Right.
ourselves up to date, we keep
Right.
learning new things. So yes, that's it. And I'm sure our audience would be curious to know, as a data scientist, what are your daily responsibilities? Like, do you like we software engineers spend most of our time coding, debugging, right? So, what you people do, how it is like?
Okay. Answering to your question, Soumya, definitely we do a lot of stuff in our day-to-day life. Starting with, usually a data scientist start with their, daily life by data collection. So we do data scraping using, through from the internet, or we do collect data from the other places. After we collect the data, our responsibility is to clean the data, right? Because if you do not clean the data and use it raw, it will not make sense. So cleaning the data pre-processing is a major part of our work. Then we start with the data visualization, right? So now if you have cleaned the data, it is important for you to visualize the data. How good does it look? Is it making sense, or is it fulfilling your business purpose or no? Right. So data visualization is the other thing that we do. After data visualization, definitely the part comes for feature engineering, right? So we do feature engineering. We select the most important features, because what it helps us to do is it improves the model performance, right? So let's say if there are 10 features, and if you go with all the 10 features, it may not make sense. There might be a lot of dependency among the models, which we call it as multicollinearity between the features, right? So we do feature engineering, select the most important features which are there. Apart from that, feature engineering, then we come to the model development. As I mentioned, I use scikit-learn, or use PyTorch or TensorFlow if you're working with neural networks to develop the model, right? Now, once the model is developed, there comes in responsibility to deploy the model, right? So if the model is ready, it is performing good. If it is giving you the good result, we deploy the model. So after the model deployment part, either you deploy using the cloud applications that we use, AWS or Azure. Then comes the part of monitoring the model, right? So once you deploy the model, it's not like you do not have any relation to the model, and you do not, you leave it for developing the results, for getting the results, right? You need to monitor its performance. Maybe it may be needed for you to retrain that model to get a better performance out of it. Either some libraries version has gone out of, has gone old, and you need to retrain it. So that is there. After we do this, there are other things, like we need to have some good communication across the teams, right? Because there are a lot of people, a lot of business use cases associated with our projects that we do. So definitely we need to communicate effectively with different teams, stakeholders, and cross-functional teams for uh, communicating our model performance. After the model performance tracking, what we do is, what needed from our side is the effective collaboration and communication, So you need to communicate with your team members on a daily basis, your stakeholders, your cross-functional teams. So sorry, I'm referring to the team that I'm working with. So you need to have a effective cross communication skill within your team. Apart from this, what we do is, being a lead data scientist, or any of your senior people, need to have skill on project management as well, right? You need to ensure effective delivery, deliverables on time. You need to ensure, prioritize the tasks that are being assigned to on a daily basis. And definitely, if the tasks are not being delivered on time, it's a red flag for the team as well. So there's a lot of learning involved. I must tell you. Yes, this is all about the work we do on a daily basis. It's not limited to. It also depends on the company, the industry that you work with. You may have some additions, you may have some subtractions from the list that I told as a daily responsibility of a data science. But yeah, this is a generic set of work that a data scientist do that I do. So yeah, that was about me. So Soumya, you tell me, how does your day-to-day life looks as a software engineer?
Okay. Interesting question.
Yeah.
So when you ask this, that is like, okay, what I do on daily basis. Okay. So we software engineers, if we have to develop a product, if we have to create a product from scratch, the very first thing, obviously, we have our team meetings where we discuss everything. We decide the features of the product. We decide, what all should go out to customers. So the very first thing is we have to design the documentation for the product, like how the feature will look like, what will be the functionality, all those things. We have to get those things approved by our seniors or by our PMs, the
Right.
product manager, who are there to decide the complete timeline, all the things about the release. So we have our design documentation thingy. Once that is approved, then that's where we have to start the coding phase. That is the most important thing, the coding phase. After that, while creating the feature, while coding the feature, if bugs come in, if we face some issue, we have to do debugging.
Wow.
And we also have to write tests as well, the JU tests for the features to test if they are working properly or not. So yes, writing code and then testing. Apart from that, for the documentation thingy, it depends organization to organization.
Yeah.
In many of the organization, obviously there are dedicated documentation team who document everything. Like they write in detail about every feature, right? If there is a feature, so they tell like, okay, the customer should use it in this way, that way. At some places, it's the responsibility of the software engineer only. If you are working on any feature, then it's you who have to write what the feature is, what it performs, and what it does, everything. So these are kind of crisp things that we do. And yes, on a daily basis, it's like meetings. We have to update Jira issues. We have to, update if it's dev complete, is it
Right.
testing, or all those stuff. And documentation sometimes testing, debugging, coding. These are the general things that we do on our day-to-day basis. It's when you were sharing of data science,
Yeah.
I was a bit relating to it. The things are a bit, few of the things are very common across the
definitely.
tech domain.
Of course.
So I was able to relate to those things. So apart from that, Roshni, I'm very, curious to know if anyone wants to get into the data science domain,
Yeah.
if anyone wants to become a data scientist. So what will be the roadmap? Some crisp steps to get into this.
Certainly, Soumya. So, providing a crisp roadmap would be very effective for the person who is aspiring to enter into the field of data science. I would say start with building a strong foundation. If you do not have proficiency in mathematics, start with inheriting some knowledge on it, like calculus, linear algebra, and probability theory. They are very important for our domain. Then go to learn some of the programming languages. I'm mentioning it here in the strong foundation thing because this is really essential. When you do not know how to code, you will not be able to implement the projects in data science. So yeah, learn Python or R. Pick one language. You do not need to learn all the languages at one time. After you build your base, then you can move to do some of the small projects in data collection and data cleaning part. Like how do you handle the data? Like because as and when you will implement more and more smaller projects into data handling and cleaning, you will know how to gain insights from the data. You will know how these data will work for your business purpose, right? After this, I will say that you should work on the data visualization part because that is very important, I would say. When I say data visualization, most of the people also take it as data analysis, which is true, right? Because data analysis is similar to the data visualization because you do a lot of you do take a lot of insights from the data, right? You plot graphs, you plot different types of graphs from the data, and you are able to communicate it to your stakeholders, yeah, right? That how this data would work out for the business purpose that you're working on. So after this, when you are done with data manipulation, definitely dive into machine learning frameworks after this. Okay, take some of the I would say, apart from the libraries that help you implement this, learn about PyTorch, learn about machine learning algorithms. How would you take one algorithm and how would you apply it into your project that you're working on? Also, try to pick one domain. Okay, that is very essential, I would say, because picking one domain will help you decide. Let's say it is computer vision that you're picking up, right? It will help you do one set of work that you want to work on. Let's say you are an NLP, right? The text summarization, the text related projects would be your main focus, and you would specialize into that, right? So specializing is also important. After this, when you are done with it, make your portfolio, and you can make your portfolio by working on more number of projects. Okay, work on X number of projects, and that will help you build a strong portfolio. And this I tell to all my mentors and people who I teach, that building a good resume is very essential, because the number of projects as a fresher will justify your experience in this field. How a new company will hire you, it will build the number of projects that you're working on, right? So yeah, apart from this, when you have built a good portfolio, the job application is the next step, I would say. Apply to a lot number of jobs, and do not get this do not get discouraged when you're not able to land a job, because as a fresher it is really um, I mean, it's an aggressive field, right? There are a lot of people who are taking experience into this field, and they are not able to enter into this. So just have patience, apply to n number of industries, and wait. Have patience. When you are done with this, definitely I would also like to focus on the thing that you need to have good confidence on the soft skills, right? You need to learn how to effectively collaborate with people. You need to learn communication, because that is very essential to along with your portfolio that you have made, to communicate. Then yeah, definitely, like you have mentioned, the we all tech people use Git more often, and that would be the one that you need to learn, right? So that's pretty much about it. And yes, do not forget to network with people when you are in this field. Networking is quite important, because I got to learn data science. I got interest into this field through networking. It was the n number of people that I got to meet in the IITs, and after that, the projects that I worked with, effectively collaborated with, that helped me to grow. Right. So this is your another step. Then just apply and wait. You will definitely land your first job. Thank you. Yeah. So that was pretty much about it, Soumya. So what do you think would be a roadmap to become a software engineer who are aspiring into this? Aspiring to enter into software engineering role after their
Right.
graduation.
So, to become a software engineer, I would say there are crisp 4 to 5 steps that anyone who is aspiring to become a software engineer must follow. The very first thing is learn a programming language. Now, this first step in itself is very confusing. Like, if you ask the freshers, the university students who are in first year, they are like, okay, Samari, like, should I learn Java, C++,
Yes.
Java, C++? This is, one of the most asked questions out there. I would say don't get confused because of this. Industry standard language, C++, Java, Python, all are good. Learn any one of this and make a good fundamental. If your fundamental is strong, let's say if you are well versed with the fundamental concept, like what is object oriented programming, what are all these theoretical things, I think learning a new language is not a big deal. A bit of syntax changes will be here and there,
Yes,
like
definitely.
Python, Java, C++, just a bit of syntax changes, right?
Yes.
Apart from that, fundamental is all same, right? So first thing, learn a programming language. Once that is done, second thing is data structure and algorithm. If you are
Yes.
targeting to become a software engineer in a good company, in a good product-based company, in some good startups, then I think data structure and algorithm, you must have a good knowledge of this. So for this, you can first focus on the theory stuff. Like there are so many data structures, arrays, stacks, queues, so many things are there. First learn the theory, and then you must practice good set of question. Let's say you are done studying the theory of arrays, right?
Yeah.
So go on Lead Code, or maybe Scalar has their own channel, like Interview Bit is there. You can practice questions from there as well. I personally love the interface UI UX of Interview Bit. They have all the features that a good coder needs. Like you select the topic there, you put the filter of topic. Let's say you are done with the theory of arrays. They have blogs as well,
Along
you
with
can,
explanations.
right.
Yes, yeah.
So you can study the theory part from there, the Interview Bit blog, and after that, for the question, put the filter arrays, and then start with the easy questions. Once you are done with the easy ones, go to medium and hard question. So, go this way. Study one data structure, then question, then another data structure, question. I think this will give you a bit of confidence as well. So, first is programming language. Secondly, you have to master data structure and algorithm.
Yeah.
And then we are going to apply for software engineering roles in good companies, right? So obviously in your resume, you need projects as well.
Yeah.
So for projects, again, there are multiple domains that you have. Like you have web development, you have machine learning, AI, mobile application development. Plenty of domains are there. So here as well, like the first step, people are confused. Like which one should I choose? Like in the first one, programming language is confusing. Which programming language?
Right.
So here as well, for projects, students are often confused. Like which domain should they go with? So I did my research, I explored all of them, and because of interest, I thought of going ahead with mobile application development, right? So I would say take your time, spend doing your research. What thing excites you? Are you interested in developing a website? Are you interested in creating mobile application, or maybe ML AI?
Choosing a domain.
Exactly.
You mean?
Choose a domain and create project in that particular domain. And when I say project, so don't be like, okay, I learn mobile application development and do some chatbot app and then add to your resume. That will not add value to your resume. Do some real world project. For real world, what you can do is how I did. So you can participate in some hackathons where some real world problems are given to you. Like when I was in university, I participated in a Smart India hackathon, which is India's biggest hackathon, right? So they give you real world problem. So the problem that I chose was of ESIC hospital. That is a government hospital, and they didn't have much of digitalization. They didn't have much of infrastructure, all those things. So they wanted us, the team, to build an application for them for the ESIC hospital, and they are using that, right? So when I will add application projects which already hundreds of thousands of people are using, so interviewer will be impressed. He'll be like, okay, she or he has done something which is already out there in the world, that is live, and people are using that. So if you create a project which has an impact, it will indeed sound awesome. It will look crazy in your resume, right?
Yeah.
So you should work on such projects which are good. And if you're not sure about like how to go about hackathons, then go and do open source. Like there are so many open source projects which already millions of people are using, right? Many of the product that we use on our day-to-day life, like we have VLC, the software, we have the web browser, Firefox. Many of these are open source, right? So go ahead, the code is open source on GitHub. So you can find the issue, you can make your own contribution, and you can say that, okay, that button on that website is developed by me, right? That's so cool.
Yes,
I
definitely.
have worked on open source project, and it feels so good. When you will see people using your product, so many people across the globe, it will be a proud moment,
I agree.
right? So yes, add real world project. That is a step number 3 in your resume. Obviously, you have to go about projects. So it's good to have real world projects. Okay. And yes, after that, for the step number 4, I would say Obviously, once you are done with these three things, you have to work on your resume, and you have to just go and start applying for internships, for full-time roles. Go on the career page of the organization you are passionate about. Let's say if you feel that, okay, Zomato, the startup is good match for your interest, you can apply on your career page. You can ask people for referral as well, and that's where the point that you mentioned, networking, is very significant.
Right.
And the pointers that you mentioned about communication, collaboration, are indeed true for all the domain. You must be a good communicator,
Very true.
irrespective of the domain you are in, because if you are able to express your thoughts in a good way, you will be successful, certainly, right?
Right.
So that's kind of crisp roadmap for software engineering role. And yes, I have an interesting question for you. Like, for the data science domain, I want to understand, nowadays people are talking so much about AI, machine learning, everything.
Yes.
So I want to understand, like, for your domain, how things are after the boom in AI is here.
Actually, the AI has impacted data science in a very profound and transformative way, I should say. So it has bring on a lot of automation on the using AI, right? Because of which we as a data scientist are able to work on the higher side of things, on the modeling side of things, on focusing on how it will suit our business case, right? Uh, Taking on the other point, for the impact, the personalization. AI has brought on a lot of personalization. We have started building a personalized recommendation system for our people. And definitely right now, I'm also working on the recommendation system as a project in my current company, which is a very good project, I should say. Also, on the other impact, if I talk about, it has also brought on the impact in a good way, like the AI algorithms which are there, like TensorFlow. Using TensorFlow and PyTorch, you can work on a lot of good AI algorithms. You the working on the chat, like the chat GPT has evolved recently, right? The working on chat GPT, we all know it has become a lot easier for us. So NLP is also one of the side. On the computer vision side as well, there are a lot of problem statements on image which has been resolved using AI. So these have been the good impacts of AI on data science, and it has impacted in a big way, I should say. So
Right.
yeah.
So, I mean, on the data science jobs, how is the impact of AI? Are the jobs affected somewhere?
That's a very debatable topic you have just asked, because I would say there are two kinds of impact. There is a negative impact of it. There is a positive impact of it. If we talk about negative impact, yes, there has been a lot of jobs that has been displaced in the industry right now. It because AI automation has brought on a lot of displacement in terms of, if I talk about some of the job roles, like the waiter job are being displaced these days. The job of call centers, for people who work in call centers, are being displaced by AI after incoming of chat GPT especially. There are two angles to it. If I talk about the negative impact, first is the job displacement. We see a lot of jobs are being displaced by the AI automated tools that we have created these days. Second is the skills gap. Due to rapidly evolving technology in the field of AI, we see there have been a lot of skill gap that has been created in this field, and people like us are not able to cope up with this, right, with the speed. So next is, of course, the AI ethical considerations. We are not so, like I said, we are rapidly evolving with this field, and AI is rapidly evolving. So we are also not aware of the data privacy concern. We are regularly violating these things. We are regularly violating the data privacy concern, the bias algorithms. Like, let's take an example. Chat GPT is there, right? We do not know that with which data it has been trained on, right? There might be biasness in the data, or there might be biasness in the algorithm that we have used, right? So AI ethical consideration is also very important. If I talk about the positive impact, also it has created a lot of positive impacts in the industry. It has although it has displaced some of the jobs, but new roles also have been created. The first one that comes onto my mind is prompt engineers. Due to introduction of chat gpt, the role of prompt engineers have been evolved recently. Also, the other thing is the lot of people who are in this field are now able to use this tool on a very frequent basis, right? And they are taking a lot of advantage out of it. So overall, it has impacted in a very bigger way, as you may hear from other people as well in this industry. But yes, there are certain positive impacts to it as well. So yeah. My question to you would be, do you think AI will replace software engineers?
Okay, that was a very direct question to us, to software engineers. So I would say short answer is no, it will not, and long answer maybe. So let me explain why and how. So I will take two examples here. When calculators were invented, right? So there was so much of noise that the jobs which involves calculation, which involves analytics, all those stuff, they will be completely replaced, like that of in bank especially. There are so many jobs which involve computation, all those stuff. So there are so much of rumor that okay, calculators are here, we don't need humans. But we know the reality. We humans use calculator to improve our productivity, right? We use calculators to save time. And in the same way, like when we know farmers, right? When the equipments like tractors or some advanced equipments were introduced, people were like, okay, we don't need farmers. I mean, crops, all those things can grow on itself. We have so many new advanced technologies, but we know the reality. The same is true with us, with software engineers. The tools are there. If you are a coder, if you are a software engineer who is using those AI tools, you will dominate the industry. If you are someone who is not up to date, who is not using the tools which are there to improve your productivity, then it might be a bad news for you that AI is taking over the industry. But if you are someone who is keeping yourself up to date, then I mean, you will indeed go good in your career. I mean, I myself tried using ChatGPT to create some advanced Android application. You give it prompt, it will give you some, sample code. It will tell you things, but you will be able to follow those steps only if you are a good software engineer. Only if you know that, okay, these are the steps to, import the file. This is how we run. This is how we debug. If you have that knowledge, then only you will be able to use that tool. So, indeed, I mean, down the line in the near future, I don't see AI replacing us, replacing software engineers. Indeed, it's a good news for us. We have so many interesting tools. I mean, few days back, I got to know about a tool which can help us, which can help us software engineers write the test of our code in like few minutes. But again, it will not be to the point. I mean, it's you who have to decide what exactly test cases you want. It's you who have to tailor things according to you. So yes, it's there to assist you, but again, you as human have to use it. It can't do your work completely. So I would say if you are a software engineer or if you are, let's say, a data scientist, imagine that someone, an AI bot is doing your work. Just give answer to yourself. Can it do everything? I mean, when I answer it, obviously it can't. The work that I do on daily basis, and AI bot cannot do it. I mean, we have to do so many things. We have to take decision based on, our audience needs. So many things are there. I mean, come on, Chat GPT is there to help you. It can't do everything. So that's my take on it. And moving ahead, I want to understand, Roshni, like what is the real world application of data science? Like, how do we exactly use it in the world?
Definitely, there are a lot of real world applications to this using data science and AI. So, if I talk about various industries, let's start with healthcare industry, right? There has been a wide range of application for AI and data science that we see in our day-to-day life and our industries. So, if I talk about healthcare industry, drug discovery is one of the automation that we have worked on a lot. Disease diagnostics is also where a lot of automation has been brought on using data science and AI. If I talk about retail, industry and e-commerce industry, right? We see a lot of automation that I am also working on. The recommendation system, the personalized content has been created for each and every user till now. Marketing has also been become very easier for us using the language models that have been introduced recently. Also, on the other arena where there have been a lot of automations introduced. I think I have just mentioned a few of the very examples that are existing in the market right now. So I would say AI is a continually evolving field. And there are a lot of automations that we and other people are working on in their day to day life. So, yes, there can be many more automations in this industry, and there are many more applications of data science in the industry. Yeah. On the other side, Soumya, I would like to ask you, like, what do you think are the challenges and opportunities in the field of software engineering?
Okay, so I would say software engineering is a vast domain in itself, right? Talking about the challenges, if we see it from the very beginning, if you are a fresher, if you are fresh out of the university, if you want to become a software engineer, the initial barriers are always there. Like you have to be the expert of a programming language, you have to be good in data structure and algorithms, you have to have a good project in your resume if you are targeting a good product based company, right?
Right.
So the initial barrier, I wouldn't call it barrier, to be honest, and they are more of good and positive challenges for you. I mean, the more better the challenges, the better engineer you will become, right? So those difficult interview rounds, everything is there to improve your skill set only. So that is sort of initial barrier if you want to get into this domain. But indeed, I mean, if consistency is there, if you practice things in a good way, if you are a skilled developer, then I think these things are not too tough for you.
Okay.
And moving ahead, let's say you are a software engineer, right, in a good company, then indeed challenges are there as well. I mean, today in the market, there are so many products, there are so many applications. So if you are developing a software, you have to stand out. I mean, the product that you are developing must stand out because so much of competition is there, right? So you need to focus on a nice UI UX. You need to focus that your customer is engaged in the software, in the application that you are developing. So with the increased competition, that challenge is obviously there. And apart from that, yes, talking about the opportunities in this domain, opportunities are again vast in software engineering because the domain itself is vast. I mean, with the increase in so many of security breaches, so many of cyber attacks, it's important that you are a good and skilled software engineer. There are so many opportunities opening up for us. These domains like developing softwares, applications, websites are not going to die in this digital era.
Definitely.
Because these are some things which are always increasing. There are so many new startups coming in, so many new companies coming in. They all want software for them, right?
Yeah.
So the need for software engineers are always increasing. They all want product for their own brand. Everyone want a good brand of their own company, their own startup. So yes, I see it as an evergreen kind of domain. And yes, when in this digital age, like manufacturing of smartphones, manufacturing of laptops, iPads, these things will end, then this domain will also end eventually because we are the one who creates softwares, right? So if the need for these will be not there, then the job will also be not there. But because, I mean, if you look at the statistics, so the users on these like software on these applications like Google Play Store, App Store, they are increasing day by day. I mean, research show that people who are downloading application from these applications like Google Play Store or App Store are increasing, and that means that eventually the demand, the need for software is increasing.
Yes.
So I mean, yes, opportunities are there and challenges are there as well. So that's pretty much it about software engineering. So Roshni, is it easy to move from data scientist role to leadership roles?
Okay. Definitely it is, but with certain things if you have there in your portfolio. Let me mention few of the things that you should possess. For moving into leadership roles, definitely you need to demonstrate the educational side of your experience, right? So you need to have, good degree and good experience. Even though if you have certifications in data science, that would work for you.
Mhm. So, like by good degree, do you mean for leadership roles? Is there any specific degree that someone pursue, or
No, not a specific degree, but yes, a higher level of degree definitely works for moving into a leadership role. But even if you do not have a higher level of degree, the certifications in data science or AI course would help you move into it because that demonstrates your experience.
so like
Right?
higher level of degrees in data science include masters in data science or PhD or what sort?
Definitely, yes. So, from the time that I am coming in my bachelor's course, there was no such course of Python, no such course for data science, right? I had to pursue it externally from the online courses, from the massive open online courses that are available online. So I had to refer them. But if they are there in your course structure, then you do not need to focus more on demonstrating your educational experience in the higher degree side. But yes, if you do not have certifications, also work for you. So that is there. Coming back to the question that you asked, moving into leadership roles, we also need to demonstrate good communication skills and collaboration skills, like I have already mentioned in a lot of questions that you have asked. Also, on the other side, like if I talk about the leaders, what qualities a leader should have, um, they should be able to manage a project well, right? That is needed on in our part to be moving into this field. Also, transitioning gradually is important. Many people move into this field, straight away they get a good opportunity to lead a team or to lead a project. But many people also start with leading within their team, right? Apart from leading the whole whole project or anything for the other team, they start within their team, right? That is also a good way to start with. Also, adaptability comes into role here because we should be able to. We should be ready to adapt to the certain changes, certain shift in responsibilities that we face in our day-to-day responsibilities. So, yeah, that will be there.
Right. It's
And
very much like our domain only. Like if you are, let's say, a software engineer, and in the team, you are kind of doing the responsibilities of, a bit higher level. Let's say you are doing the roles and responsibility that a senior software engineer is supposed to do. Then that's how and when you are promoted, right? So in your team only, let's say you are now promoted to senior software engineer,
yes,
and you are good enough to kind of lead the team. You are taking care of your interns, associates, and software engineers, the people who are junior to you. Then might be that you are doing the responsibility that a manager is supposed to do, and that's how you might get promoted to some
right,
leadership roles as well, right?
right.
So I think experience and your skill set, your ability to kind of lead the team, if you have that leader kind of quality, then I think you are kind of good to go for the
Visible.
leadership roles.
You are visible to the
Yeah.
team, right? So yes.
Perfect, perfect.
Yeah. So, well, my question to you, Soumya, would be how do you think? What do you think would be the expectation of an individual performer from their team lead or their project manager?
Okay, so I will share my personal opinion here.
Sure.
So I like, apart from all the like technical things, apart from the job roles that a product manager or team lead is supposed to do, I look for a good support from them. I mean, let's say if I'm doing a release, I'm working on a very significant release, but somewhere there is some urgent family need. If I need to go out for some emergency situation, they should be understanding that okay, it's fine. The dates are there, the deadlines are there for the release, but yes, the employers, they should be kind of even more significant than those dates which we have to meet. That's something which I look for, and luckily, touchwood, like I'm in an organization in a team where the leadership team is very supportive. I mean, they give priority to you so that you give priority to the schedule. That's what they follow, and a good work-life balance is indeed very significant for productivity. So, in all the good organizations I have seen, I mean, productivity is something they focus a lot And for productivity, work-life balance comes into
Yes.
picture.
Yeah.
So yes, a good leader is the one who take care of the team. I mean, who is not like always, giving instruction that okay, this should be this way, this should be that way.
Yes.
I mean, if you believe your team, give them the task and they will do it in the best way possible, I feel. So that's what a good trait of a good leader is. So, yeah,
Definitely, interpersonal skills and management skills are the mandatory for a leader to have. Right.
exactly. So, Rashni, I want here to ask you one question, which is, which would be there in the mind of many freshers.
Yeah.
People say that in the data science domain, the opening for fresher roles are a bit less. I mean, it's said that only, for after experience, like 4 to 5 years of experience, only you can get into this domain. And even if like you check on career page of many companies for the data scientist role, they always kind of write that okay, at least like this much year of experience is needed. So is this a like rumor or what this is? How is the fresher job opening in your domain in data science?
This is the question that I have been asked with many of my AI mentees. And I guess our audience will also be able to relate to it because there are a lot of freshers who are trying to enter into this field of data science. So, to answer your question, I certainly think that there are fresher openings, but yes, having said that, it depends on the industry, it depends on the company and the role that you are applying for. Right. So there are openings for fresher. When I say that means there are 50,000 plus companies over the globe, right? And they have n number of opportunities evolving with the projects and with the different business use cases that the company is working on. So freshers just need to update their skills even when you apply to certain company and you wait for the response from the companies that you have applied to. You shouldn't stop just waiting to the opportunity that you have applied to. You should continually evolve the skill set that you have, right? You should also work on it, because I have seen many of my mentees working on it, and they eventually stop learning, getting discouraged by no response from the company, and they are like, we are not getting any response, and we are not willing to move forward to this field, and they feel like there is no opening for fresher in this field. It's not true. There are openings for freshers. You just need to be updated with the right skill set a company needs. Right? When you're applying to X company and they apply and they need computer vision skill, you need to demonstrate that skill to the company. They will hire you. They will interview and like to take you. Right? So with the right skill sets and with the right company job requirements, you a fresher can definitely get a job into this industry.
So, right. How was your personal experience around it? Like, as far as I know, when you were fresh out of the university, you got into an organization as a data scientist.
Right.
So, Roshni, how was your personal experience of getting into the data science domain as a fresher? Did you face any hurdles?
Actually, my entry into data science was also no extraordinary. Also, having, in spite of having a good portfolio in terms of projects that I had worked into IITs and the personal projects that I had worked with, I had certain research papers published as well during my bachelor's while I was pursuing it. I faced a lot of hurdles, I should say, because I gave a n number of interviews during to secure my first job in this industry. I applied to n into n number of companies while I was preparing for it, while I was seeking to secure a place in this industry. But yes, definitely, this took me a while to get into this industry. But yes, it was an heartwarming experience, I would say. And it was really thrilling experience for me as well, because you gave an interview and you suspiciously wait for the call to get right. You wait for the results to happen. So with this with and I should say that with each and every interview that you give, you gain a certain amount of experience. You gain more confidence to rock an interview. You gain more and more exposure to the questions, to the type of questions that the interviewer asks. Right. So even when I interview the data science mentees, I do feel that mentees get more open when you are having more and more interaction with them, when they are giving the I mean when interviews are not new for them, right? When they have given a number of interviews already, and they are able to uh, get get through the questions that you ask. So yes, more and more interviews that you give, you perform better in an interview, right? Don't worry about the rejections that you have had in the past. Try to focus on the incoming interviews that are aligned for you. Even though incoming interviews are not aligned, wait patiently and work on your skill sets. Work on expanding the skill sets. That is very essential to get into this industry. And definitely, you will land your first job as a fresher in this industry. Yeah.
Perfect. So, I mean, next thing I want to highlight is the collaboration between software engineers and data scientists. So, based on I'd like to take this up first, and then I will indeed ask for your opinions on this. So, Rashmi, data is everywhere, and you people are the experts in this. I mean, how to squeeze most out of the data, how to take out the significant business information so that the product performs well. All those things are taken care by you people.
Yes.
So, indeed, I mean, the products that we are asked to develop are because you people say that, okay, this is the data and people are looking for this product. That's how then we work on that product. So, I mean, what's your take on this? How do you see the collaboration between software engineers and data scientists?
Um, the collaboration between a software engineer and data scientist is essential when we are working on the deployment side of the project, because the whole modeling side, when you have worked with it, now comes the as a machine learning engineering role. I'm talking in more in terms of machine learning engineering role, because the deployment is a crucial part of their responsibility. So when we are about to deploy a model that we have worked on, we need software engineers help. We need the expertise to deploy the model better. So therein where I feel the collaboration between a data scientist and a software engineer is essential. I would also like to seek your experience in this. Is it really important according to you?
Right. As I shared in the beginning, only like before asking for your opinion, I said we software engineers develop those products, we develop those softwares which our product managers tell us to develop, and they tell us based on what you people data scientists give them the data, because you know how to squeeze most out of the data, right?
Yes.
You know how to see which what people are looking for. You have so much of data, then I don't know how people do it, but you squeeze most out of it, and that's how we decide that, okay, this is the product that we have to develop, and then we work on it. So indeed, I think the role of both the professions, like data scientists, the software engineers, are significant. Yeah,
Right.
that is. And with that being said, Roshni, I would like to ask, what is the message that you would like to give to the aspiring data scientists?
Um, if I talk about the message that I would like to give to an aspiring data scientist, I do actually have a lot of questions for going on my head, which I have been asked with a lot of freshers who are trying to enter into this field. Not only freshers, those who are willing to transform into this field. First, I would just summarize the points that I have spoken through. This podcast is building a strong foundation is important. If you have not worked on your foundation and you're willing to move into this field, you will face a lot of hurdles than you deserve, right? So work on building a strong foundation for data science. Then comes the projects. Building a portfolio is important. When you have built a strong foundation for yourself, you know how to work on projects better. You know how to use Python to drive the data insights. You know how to communicate to the business, right? So work on building a good portfolio, and that is the projects. Include more and more projects, right? Next is, whenever you apply to a company, make sure that your skill sets match with the company's requirements. That is very essential for you to do so, because if you have n number of skills, but the skill sets that a company is requiring, let's say you have skills in NLP, right? And the company who is acquiring you requires more skill sets in the arena of automation, not automation, but computer vision, let's say. So the skill sets requirement is not matching here, right? So try to make your portfolio suitable according to the company's requirements. Uh, After this, definitely focus on your soft skills as well, right? Um, Core skills, hard skills, you have already worked on, but but soft skills are also the ones that you should focus on, because I have seen people with good portfolio are also getting rejected these days, because soft skills are necessary. Effective communication, management, and a little bit of, I should say, the interpersonal skills are important to showcase to the company that yes, you can effectively communicate and network with other professionals within with your other colleagues in the team. Yeah. Right. Apart from this, like I have already said, do not lose hope. If you have got rejected 50 times, 100 times, 100 of your interviews, with more and more interviews, you're getting more stronger and more able to survive through the tough questions. You are gaining more experience with it. So, yes, these are the points that I would like to give to you. And this field, one more last point, this field requires a lot of continuous learning. When you are waiting for an opportunity to come, or you are in a profession, do not stop learning. Be proactive in seeking the internship, the different certifications or the different internship opportunities, or start with the smaller role as well in this industry. But do not hesitate in grabbing an opportunity if it is paying you less, or if it is giving you less amount of exposure than you expected, right? Because I also started as an intern. So grab the opportunity that you are getting, even though you're not getting paid, because that's where you're learning. That is helping you gain more. Gain more determination to rock this field. So yeah, that's all about it. So, what is the message that you would like to give to people who are willing to enter into software engineering field?
Okay. So, Roshni, I would say the steps are a bit crisp. I mean, if you want to get into software engineering, you know that, okay, there are 3 to 4 steps which you have to follow. Now, in following those steps, there are plenty of things. Number one is, when, let's say, we know the decent knowledge of, data structure and algorithm, we somewhere lose consistency. That's one of the biggest hurdle which many freshers face. You know that, okay, you have to learn a programming language, you have to do DSA, you have to practice a lot of questions, yes. You have to do projects. The steps are literally pretty much clear, but it's about executing those steps in a good way. And one thing is consistency. To overcome this, I would say, just, if you have that thing in mind, if you really aspire to become a good software engineer, if you want to land into your dream company, then obviously that consistency will not be missed. And I've seen freshers doing this mistake. Let's say if you go to university on daily basis, right? So they mostly like go to attend lectures and everything, and they feel like, okay, I'll do the DSA questions on just weekend. Don't do this mistake. I mean, even if you are doing 1 2 questions on daily basis, that is more than enough. I mean, yes, it's important to maintain a good, consistency. The flow should be there. Don't be like, okay, for 6 days I'll not do anything. On one day, on Sunday, I'll do all the questions. No, start with 1 2 questions, go to 4 5 questions daily, but start at least doing it. Consistency is literally very important in this domain. Apart from that, if you are good in networking. If you have good network, then those people, your network will indeed help you in landing good job and getting good internship. I personally have been benefited a lot by good network. I mean, I did plenty of open source contribution, and people who were there in the open source communities, they helped a lot. I mean, from getting referrals to giving me guidance about how to go about it, how to grab the software engineering internship, everything they guided a lot. So yes, networking is obviously very important.
Yes.
And for making a good portfolio, make sure you follow all those things which Roshni already has covered. You must have good projects. If you are, participating in some scholarships, some open source programs, hackathons, coding competition, they will add a lot of value to your portfolio. So these are the things. If you have any other doubt in your mind about either software engineering, about data science domain, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. I hope this podcast was informative for you. If yes, make sure you hit the like button
and subscribe to Scalar's YouTube channel for more such content. Thank you.